You think you're gonna knock it over again?
Yeah, probably.
It's like,
Because I see Stone Cold is falling over already.
yeah, man.
These light workouts, bro.
Yeah, man. Yeah. What's good, brother?
Everything's good, man. I can't complain. Been busy with playoff planning, things like that. So, and you know I'm a hooper. So
Yeah,
see
man.
me doing my
Yeah.
thing.
It's funny. The last time I saw you, I think we played ball at Astoria Park, and my friends were so mad at me. They're like, "Bro, you're not that bad, son." But he's like, "Why are you playing like that?" Like, talking about me. And yo, I like to say I don't play ball much, obviously, like you saw. But for someone that plays like once every 6 to 8 months,
You're right. You good. You good.
but like I'm missing layups and shit. Like that's uncalled for.
It's
you
all
know
in
what
your
I'm
head,
saying?
though.
Yeah.
But I could tell that you're like very athletic. Like
Yeah.
you're all American. So
Yeah,
you
I
got
like
it.
that. Thanks for putting me over. Now, if it's a football field, that's a different ball game.
I need to see you out there because I see your pictures and stuff.
Man,
so.
I'm kind of the truth in that league, bro. Quarterbacking.
Wow. So are you
Yeah.
more Aaron Rodgers? Or
Nah,
you,
I'm Drew
Tom Brady?
Brees.
Oh,
I'm
all
Drew
right.
Brees.
I
That's my player comp.
I got you.
I'm under 6 foot. Don't got the biggest arm. Very accurate though.
Mm-hmm.
Some throws come out a little slow. Ducks.
Gotcha.
My friends like to cut my ass. They're like, yo, how you zip one and then the
Mm-hmm.
next one is coming out all wobbly and shit. But yo, the Watch Club is taking off, man. I see Durant's putting it over and
Bro,
shit.
it's taking off. Like
You got
a little
sponsors
idea,
also.
I know a little idea that just came during the pandemic, and now it's exploded to its own thing.
Hell yeah, man. That shit is
cool,
so dope. And I see more and more people in the pictures.
Yeah.
We play football on Sundays in the morning at the time that you're playing. And I definitely want to stop by, bro.
I need you to stop by.
That shit is
yeah.
fire. Hey, man, I always love talking to you about this stuff. And also, in particular, on this one, like you were saying, you're super busy. But you were like, yo, I'll be there, no problem. So I appreciate your time, for real. Let's get into it, man. We're going to preview a little bit of the first round. And everyone's giving out their predictions and whatnot. And I want to be just a little bit different in the sense of we're going to run through each series. We'll pick winners at the end and, in 5 or in 4, whatever it might be. But I really want to spotlight with each series a storyline because I feel like it's a very compelling first round of the playoffs.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but I feel like this might be the tightest first round that I can remember.
Yeah.
I know the bubble is a little weird because there wasn't no home court advantage, but I think just as a whole, I think we'll see a lot more game 6s and 7s.
You have the Nets as a 7th seed, so you already know it's a tight one.
Right, yeah, for sure, man. So how you feeling about the playoffs? Just off rip.
Yeah, like you mentioned, I think it's going to be like one of the tightest ones. A lot of games are going to go to game 6 and 7s, and I feel like we're past like that Warriors run and like that dynasty run, and it's like open for anyone. So
I asked my guy Combo was on the show last week. Off the top of your head, how many teams you think realistically can win a championship this year?
that is a good question.
Because I feel like there's 4. I think there's 4.
Who's that for?
The Suns, the Bucks, the Nets because of the star power, and I would put the Heat.
I'll add the Celtics and Warriors to that, so
Okay.
and make it 6
But you agree with those teams that I mentioned
agree.
too?
for sure.
There are a couple of teams that we didn't mention that I'm very fascinated by. But, yeah, man, for me, I think there's a lot of storylines coming into this one. What series you want to start off with?
Well, I'm down for anything. You want to start with Eastern Conference?
You want to go East?
Let's do it.
Let's go East. Okay, let's go with... Now, we're not going to talk about the playing games that much as far as, like, who the opponents are going to be. Because, like, yo, do you even like the playing game?
I love it. I think it's fun. Like, towards, like, the end of the season, it gives guys a reason to play harder. Like, before, it was, like... Especially, like, working in the business is, like, you're, like, inching and, like, walking towards the playoffs and, like, everyone's basically dead. But now it brought back some life.
Yeah, and you also think teams probably don't tank as much now because they got a chance?
That's true.
It eliminates that. I think that's why it's a little bit more compelling. I like it because, like, I'm not a college basketball guy, but I love the urgency of, like, one and done, right? You see Kentucky lose to St. Pete. Shout out your boys, right?
know,
That's your guy. Yo, who
Steven.
was that?
My boy, Steven Cruz. We are old college buddies, but he was, like, one of my best men in my wedding. So,
Oh, shit.
yeah, one of my best friends. And he's, like, always been into coaching, but now he's, like, trying to find his foot in, like, the D1 area. So he's the director of basketball operations for St. Peter's.
That's
and
dope as hell.
it's crazy because, like, no one expected that run,
Hell no,
but
no one did.
now it's, like, awesome. But we was preparing to go down to New Orleans, like, just to support him for, like, the Final Four, but fortunately they
Damn,
lost
that
to
would've been
UNC.
so lit,
So-
bro. Yeah, I saw you guys tagging them after the first rounds, and going into the Sweet 16. And then after I started connecting the dots, also, like, I'm a super creep on social media. So I was like, oh, shit, he was in. I was like, oh, damn, that's this guy. That's dope, man. That was fun.
Yes.
That was fun. I made some money on them against Purdue. You know, degenerate. Yeah, my friends are like, yo, that's a lot of points, whatever. But that was cool, man. Shouts to him. All right, let's talk about the East. To me, the Bulls and the Bucks, I know we said that some series are going to go lengthy. I think this one is done in 4.
I'll say 5.
Yeah.
I'll say 5. Yeah, it's just with Chicago. I just don't see them. I haven't seen them enough, and I don't think anyone can compete with the Bucks yet.
Yeah.
It's like DeMar has been awesome this year, Zach, but like they have no answer for Giannis.
Yeah. You know, the thing that was interesting about Chicago, and I think one of the big storylines for me for this series is, yo, we're really on this Bucks run the last 4 years that, yeah, they've won 1 title. And, I mean, I would do a lot for the Knicks to win 1 title. But, like, the Bucks have been, depending on how this season ends, if they were to win another title, this 5-year run they've been on, bro, is wild, right? You're talking about they've been the top seed. I believe they have the most wins over that span. They go to the bubble, which was a wacky season because they were really hell-bent on getting that 1 seed, so everything got to go through Milwaukee. And then they lose to Miami. They come back. They have the Durant foot on the line game, right? And everyone's still kind of selling them short, sort of disrespected too. Like, you only won it because Harden went down or Kyrie went down. Harden wasn't 100%, excuse me. And then you're looking at it, and this team with the Bucks, I just feel like, in a weird way, are still kind of under the radar.
Yeah, no one respects them for some reason.
It's
just because I don't know if it's a Giannis thing, but you know they don't have like a Stephen Curry or like a LeBron, like a name that like literally like pops. Like, you know, Giannis is a superstar, but people don't look at him like that.
I feel like he's too nice.
Yeah. Even though he has like a little bit of nasty in him
well,
now.
His game does.
His game
but
does.
I'm talking about like even the reporter was asking him. I saw some video. They asked him about winning the scoring title potentially. He's like, yo, I don't care about that stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I want to win a championship. You know, there's other guys where like, you know, LeBron wanted to get the scoring title, especially when the Lakers flamed out. And you look at some of these other guys that are really stat driven. And to me, Giannis, it could be because like he is European also.
Yeah.
There's something about the Bucks as a whole that they have a lot of, like, Drew Holiday was always underrated
It's like the Spurs, like back in the day. It's like they're very consistent, but they're not ever gonna like pop off and like they're not gonna be someone's favorite team
unless you're from Milwaukee.
Exactly.
Right.
So I just think like the big thing for this series for Giannis is like if he wins the championship, the argument has to be made is that he's the best on earth. So,
who would you say it is right now?
I mean, KD.
KD,
like,
right?
No one can stop that man.
Yeah.
But if Giannis wins again, like you have to put him up there.
Yeah, man, it's such an interesting debate because I feel like Durant had that y'all must have forgot game. We were talking about it with Dylan a couple weeks ago, and I'm gonna bring this game up in particular throughout the whole playoffs. That Thursday night game against the Sixers.
Yep.
Like, they were in their bag. They went, we called that a soul-snatching performance by Kyrie. Like, just, like, took the soul out of, I think, Sixers fans, out of Harden, the organization. And Durant also, anytime these conversations pop up, and because he's missed time the last couple of years, he did that shit where he left and went to Golden State. Some people were soured on it. It's like, dude is a hooper to, like, the highest degree. And when it comes to getting a bucket, I don't think there's anyone better than him.
Yeah, like he really loves the game. You could tell, and like he knows all his spots. He like mastered that craft.
Yeah, and now he's popping off to fans too.
Exactly.
Let's hold off on Durant. Let's get back to this series though, because that's another good one too. But with Chicago, like all year, I remember in the beginning they started off so hot. They were the 1 seed, and a lot of people would hit me up and be like, "Yo, how come they're 30-1 to win the title?" It's like, well, the one thing that happens with a lot of sports books and in gambling is until you're proven, they're not going to respect you.
Yeah.
Like the Lakers had better odds to win the title than like Miami, the Bulls, close to the Sixers, even like as far as a month ago. And it was like, yo, they might be in the playing game, but you have the cachet of LeBron, the Lakers, AD. You've seen these guys perform. It was the same shit in the past when like those years that the Spurs would get in as like a 4 or 5 seed. It's like they're still the favorite to win the West. It would be like them and the Kobe Lakers. because we've seen it. And that was the thing with the Bulls. Like, they have a lot of guys who kind of unproven in the playoffs or have just had those horror stories like DeRozan with the Raptors, right? Top seed and they're getting swept by the Cavs.
Yeah, I like them a lot. It's just that they don't have enough like to go against like the Eastern Conference like juggernauts, like, you know, like the Bucks or like even the Nets, like even the Heat.
Yeah.
They're like deep. Like I can't see Chicago beating them.
Yeah, and also Chicago, they got snake bit. They got a lot of bad injuries, all at the same time too. Like cluster injuries is what they call in like the sports betting world too. It's like when one position group, usually in the NFL, like if all your wide receivers go down, it's like damn, you got cluster injuries there. Yeah. But also in the NBA, like a lot of their guards that went down, right? It was Lonzo, it was Caruso.
Yeah, Lonzo's out officially.
And then Levine was like in and out. I know like prior to the All-Star game, he wasn't playing much. And then in the All-Star game, he comes back. So, yeah, they got ravaged by injury. That's why I feel like DeRozan, he don't do it for me. I'm not a DeRozan guy.
Wow.
Yeah, there's something about it like...
Why? Because he doesn't shoot threes?
Well, no, it's not just that. Because like I'm a fan of just like getting buckets. Like to me, I want you to just score. Now, I get it. The 3 is worth more than 2. Everyone knows that. But I'm a believer, like, if I could score, I'm going to take the points every time. Yeah. And so I'm a fan of the mid-range. Like, Chris Paul kind of brought that back, right? Yeah. Like, you're always going to get the 2. The thing that drives me the craziest, bro, is when they're on, like, a 4-on-1 fast break and they're pulling up from 3. Like, those are just driving me crazy. And always, like, when it's down 2 with, like, 20 seconds left, it got to be a step-back 3 for the gram, right? Like, everything's on social media. But with DeRozan, the thing that irks me is I feel like if you don't have the 3-point shot in your game or something you're comfortable with taking, I feel like you're kind of limited in the sense where it's easier to game plan around. That's why, like with Giannis, all he had to do was just have you think he would take the 3. And then it just makes him even more impossible to stop.
I don't know. Like, I see what you're getting at. But I think DeMar's like more than that. He's like been a facilitator, like
for them, yeah.
For sure. Like, he's filled that area, even with Lonzo gone. But, yeah, he comes up clutch. So I respect DeMar's game. But I see what you're saying, though.
That's true. He has been super clutch, and especially this year. Like, he's in the discussion for a guy who some people, I think, would... I mean, the MVP is long and gone past him. But he was a guy who had a breakout year, I would say, despite being in the league for so long. Yeah. What do you got this series in?
Bucks and 5.
Bucks and 5?
Yeah.
Now, the Bucks did sweep them in the regular season. I feel like Chicago, game 3, they could steal that. Crowd will be behind it. They'll probably, keep the whistles in check kind of thing. There are a lot of conspiracies in the betting world and stuff. People being like, yo, they swallowed the whistle or they're not blowing it, whatever it might be, and letting them, catch up and make the game close. But I think in 4, man.
4? Like, I got to respect the Bulls at least. They have Caruso. Their second-round pick, Ayu Dum. I don't even know how to pronounce his last name, so I'm not going to.
We call him Ayo.
Yeah, Ayo. Yeah, I'll just say that. But he's been really good. You got Levine, who's, like, hungry. And, like, he's in a contract year as well.
Oh, I do like that.
Yeah. So, and then you got Nikola.
Okay. But still, I think 4 or 5 is how it goes. I think Milwaukee is... They're just better across the board, too. And they got that guy that could just dominate in all sense.